Hey guys, so welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid Mohidin. I'm here with Enoch Nkwe. It's a catch up session and a good opportunity for me to catch up with Enoch and find out how things have been since the last time we spoke. It's been quite a while since we caught up. I know that he's been keeping to himself recently and just be enjoying your time. Basically, you could say your time off. But how are you doing, Enoch? Welcome to the show. Good to see you again. How are you doing and how are you feeling?
Yeah, thanks, Khalid. Thanks for inviting me to the show. Like you said, it's been a long time, eh? I think last time we chatted, was it during lockdown or was it? I don't know. I can't remember clearly, but it's been a while. I must say that the last sort of couple of months have been awesome. Just being away from the game, taking time off, and having to actually do quite a lot of investment in myself. I'm actually doing very well. I'm doing so well, man. I'm enjoying life, and it's been very good. It's been treating me well, so can't complain on that front. And yeah, I'm just excited about my life going forward. I do miss the game, I must say, but yeah, the break was needed, and like I said, I'm excited in terms of what's going to be my next step forward, and I'm sure there's going to be good things.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about that a little later. But a lot has happened since the last time we spoke, as we know. And there's a lot of rumors flying around on social media. There's a lot of rumors in the media about you. Your name has come up quite a bit. And your name has come up because of obviously certain things that has been happening around the national coach currently, Mark Boucher. And I don't want to make this whole interview about Mark Boucher specifically, but I want to ask you about the rumors because there's been a lot of rumors about WhatsApp messages between the two of you. There's been things about obviously your resignation, which we're not going to maybe touch on today, but there's also been a lot of things about CSA contacting you and being in contact with you about you being the next coach already. And all of these rumors have been thrown around in the media, and you've been quite quiet. So this is the first time you're actually going to speak about it. So I just would like to know your truth and your side of the story. What has been happening? What is true? What is fiction? And yeah, what is false in the media currently?
Yeah, look, um, you know, this type of things that can be quite disturbing. As much as I haven't really been in a sort of a media space, like reading articles and social media and all that. Like I said, it was very important for me to use this sabbatical time to myself and really take time off and reflect on the last couple of years and what I actually want to do going forward. There's been a lot of rumors. I mean, I've got you know a lot of people sort of sending me messages trying to find out, is this true or not. I'll be honest. I haven't been in contact with anybody with regards to um, my next step forward in terms of the coaching the Proteas, or yeah, for me it was actually a surprise. I'll be honest. I haven't been in contact with CSA with regards to that, so I'm not quite sure where the rumors come from. Um, whether I'll be the next coach or not. I mean, I'm not even thinking that I'll be, when I come back into the game, I'll be going into the coaching or I'll be going into other areas. I've been playing around with so many ideas and on how I can, if I do stay locally, obviously, how I can help the system to become better. Yeah, and to be honest, in terms of the Protea space, I mean, there's a reason why I resigned, and I'm happy with that in terms of the space that I'm in, and a lot of things, obviously, like you said, happened last year, and right now, to be honest, I'm in a completely different space, and a lot of things that are obviously coming out in the media, like I said, is very disturbing, but to be honest, I'm not really I'm looking to get back into that space. I'm looking at other areas in terms of how I can actually grow as a person, grow in my cricket, in my cricketing space. And maybe in the future I'll coach. I'll come back into the coaching, but we'll see. I mean, there's so many opportunities out there globally as well. So if something comes along in the next month or so, then and I feel like, well, let me be honest, like I'm actually in a better space right now. Like I said, so I'm so much more refreshed. And if something comes globally and I'm offered that opportunity, I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna sit back and and hope for things to happen. If something comes locally, I mean domestically, and then I'll look into it, and if it excites me, I'm gonna take it. But in terms of me being the next coach, that's not true. I respect CSA in terms of their own processes, whatever they had to do. Like I said, I haven't been in contact. I did my exit interview and that was it. We parted ways, and I'm a free agent, and I'm just I'm just looking forward to what's to come. And like if it's locally, I'm always passionate about obviously making an impact in our local game, because I mean, look, I'm a person that looks for opportunities, where I can actually just lend a hand and help the system grow, move in a certain direction that obviously the high powers want the system to move. And I'm very strategic also in my way of doing things, in my thinking. So yeah, let's see what actually comes up. But I haven't really put my head around the national post. I do really respect Mark Boucher in terms of he's still in that position, and the guys are down in New Zealand, and I have no doubt the guys are going to do well there, and they'll continue to play good cricket like they did now. And whatever happens is between Mark Boucher and Cricket South Africa. And yeah, and like I said, I'm not a person that when that opportunity comes, I'm just going to jump onto it. Like I said, I think I've got other ideas that I'm actually pondering and I'm playing around with, and I'm excited to implement those ideas, whether it's locally or elsewhere. But we'll wait and see.
So you're already a very highly qualified coach when it comes to having the levels and the experience and overseas, locally, trophies under your name, being with the national side. So when it comes to coaching, y- I would still put you in that bracket of some of the top coaches in the country, and in some, maybe some people would even say in the world. So when it comes to coaching, a job comes available, we'll see what happens over there. But I want to know, what other aspects have you improved with regards to yourself? Like, what other roles could you see for yourself in the future? If you're just speculating right now, and obviously I'm not going to speak about specific offers, but what else is possible for Enoch Nkwe, and what sort of skills did you improve on yourself so that you can maybe venture into something other than coaching?
Yeah, look, I think it's always been a part of me since I started coaching under 19 cricket. But not only under 19 cricket. I mean, I've done quite a lot of coaching in the youth, under 14s, and 11s, under 15s, and I'll speak more obviously from a professional point of view. What I mean professionally, obviously, you start getting paid full time. You sign a contract. So when I signed a contract back then with Gauteng Cricket, to run the high performance. So I was coaching under 19s, and I was running the academy there and doing the under 23s. I've always been that person that looks to sort of build systems, and implement a certain philosophy within the system, and grow that system throughout, from obviously, like I'll give you an example, from under 19 up until semi-pro. So back then, that's how I always had this massive vision in terms of obviously Lions cricket back then. But I knew that right now my role is to make sure that I strengthen the gap between youth cricket, I would say sort of school cricket, and senior cricket. And that was my massive investment for a good 4 years, and building those systems and building a lot of trust and belief and the style of play, because like I said, I'm that person that, and when I create this vision, I actually go after it. I'll do whatever it takes to ensure that everything starts to align towards that vision. And that's what I did over a period of 4 years. And I was fortunate enough that Khalid Nkwe gave me an opportunity to work with the strikers. And I linked up that system that I've built from under 19 to the under 23s, linked it up with the strikers. And man, it just, I was fortunate also that, the players that I worked with from under 19 cricket responded to the system. And I had a lot of support as well from the union. I had good people around me, in terms of the coaches, the managers, and we spoke the same language, and they could see the same thing. So it was a massive synergy back then at Houghton Cricket, and we worked all together. And a couple of years down the line, I was fortunate enough again to have the opportunity to work with the Lions, and and the guys obviously that remained at Houghton Cricket continue with the system and in their own ways, but without having to to sort of deflect from the value systems, or the core. I'll call it sort of like the core base that has actually helped us back then as a province, as a franchise, to be successful over a period of time. And when I came back, things clicked, and we continue with our system. So I've always been that person that that put us a vision, and then work on a strategy, work on all the ingredients that are needed to ensure that we do achieve the bigger picture. And so I'm just hoping that if I don't obviously venture into the coaching, I move away from a coaching space, which I am, to be honest, contemplating. I'm moving to sort of a very strategic position that I can be given that opportunity. It doesn't matter where it is, whether it's locally, whether it's internationally, it doesn't matter. I'm just so passionate about, coming up with systems and coming up with a bigger picture, and then how do we all link it up? How do we all align? I'm not saying that, we're all gonna click and, things are gonna work smoothly, but just the groundwork that goes into putting the whole piece together, that's what excites me. And I'm just hoping that I'll have that opportunity at some point in my life that I can actually venture into that space and build this massive strategy and build this philosophy and run with it and make it as great as we can, and and to see where it takes us. But without a big picture, for me, things become very meaningless. I lose the motivation. I lose the energy. I need a big picture. I need something that is as bigger than just me, the team, any individual. Almost like bigger than the system. That as a system we look at and we say, wow, that is so powerful. Can we actually do this? Whether it takes 2 years or 1 year or 5 years or 10 years, it's that whole energy, that investment into it, in aligning and the conflicts and the disagreements, the agreements, all those ingredients that that can make something, a team work together, a team achieve greatness, a system achieve greatness. That is so exciting for me, and just to see people succeed, for me, that's even better, to be honest. I don't look at myself and saying, wow, I want to win this, I want to win that. For me, it's always been about, how does the bigger picture looks like? Can we achieve it? And then the group of people that invest in that, and if they do well, that excites me. We reap the rewards, and we all fly high. If we fail, we all fail together, but at least we all aligned. We all invested in that one picture, and we know how to pick ourselves up. So it's and again, it's about creating that base that you set as a group of people. And we know that if something don't go right, how do we fall back into the base and then regroup and then rebuild it and continue forward? So yeah, that's, I mean, it becomes very exciting, you know, when I start to sort of speak this type of language, because it's always been in me since my days of coaching. I actually don't even remember one time where I got involved in coaching and I never actually thought, I can actually contribute in this sort of whatever system it was around the world. I can contribute in the system and make it great. I can't even, think back and like, okay, I just went through the emotions. For me, it's always been about, you come in, obviously you scan the environment, you understand it. Okay, what is actually needed? How can we make it great? No matter how people might not believe in that, how do we make it great? And there's always a way. I mean, like my own personal philosophy, you got to find the way and make it work. Simple as that. But obviously, the most important thing, again, to my philosophy, you got to be yourself. And the more, in that sort of environment, you can encourage every individual to be themselves, including you yourself as a leader, or as a coach, as an administrator. Man, there are no limits. There's a lot of big things that can be achieved. So yeah, let's see what opportunities do come. And but not to say that I haven't had offers. I've had a number of offers, and to be honest, I wanted to be honest with myself. And if I had to take up those offers, I needed to be honest also with the people that were offering me those opportunities. And I felt the energy was not right. My mind, my soul, my everything was not right to actually invest in that system. So, but I'm almost there now. So, and that's an exciting part.
So then I have to ask you, what's next for Enoch? What is some of your short term and long term goals now?
Yeah, look, that's a very good question. I know it's a very simple question, but I mean, short term, I mean, I'm going to continue, obviously, do my own sort of study behind the scenes in terms of growing as a person. I know a lot of people say, yeah, but you only grow when you're out there doing your work and putting your work into practice. There's also a lot of work that you do mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically as well, all together, to ensure that you're ready. So I'll just continue doing that. Unfortunately, the MSL was postponed. I was actually targeting that to come back into the system. There were a couple of opportunities to get involved in the MSL. Unfortunately, that, as we know, was postponed. So yeah, I'll have to wait around and see what other opportunities are going to be coming soon. And if it fits what I'm looking for, if it fits my passion, it fits my character, then I'm gonna go for it. And like I said, it would be awesome, to be honest. It would be great to venture into something a little bit different in my cricketing space, so I can also test myself, and see what can I actually do, away from coaching, because obviously coaching a team is completely different to getting behind the scenes and being involved sort of administratively. It's a different type of coaching. So how do you actually work? How do you implement the philosophy? How do you influence the system? Whether it's a region, whether it's a club, whether it's a school, whether it's international teams around the world, or a franchise team in T20 globally. How do you actually go about that? And you learn. You've got these ideas and you want to implement them, but it's not to say that it's gonna work out exactly how you see it. And how do you go over certain hurdles? It's for me, that's an exciting thing that I would actually like to be involved in, and see. I mean, years down the line, see how I can actually reconnect to coaching. I mean, if I end up in coaching, for example, maybe one of the franchise teams around the world, how do I come in and keep driving my philosophy as a person? How do I influence that environment in a short period of time? Those type of things. I mean, one thing I know for sure is that I'm up for a challenge, but that challenge needs to fit. My character needs to fit the way I'm thinking. I need to be completely honest in terms of, can I really make a meaningful impact in that environment? And if it doesn't speak to me, I won't grab that opportunity. And I must say, like I said, there's been offers, but to be something I would actually love to do is to, slightly shift into a different sort of space in the cricket, and then see where that takes me. And like I did in my coaching, reassess every single year. At the start of the season, end of the season, end of the year, I reassess and see where I am, see where the team is at, see where the organization is at. What's the next step? How do we make it better? Everybody that's involved, how do I make myself better? How do I make the players better, the administrators, whatever project I'm working on, how do I do it? And for me, it's important that as a team, we all align. So that would be nice. A nice little different challenge. That'll be awesome. If not, there's all other opportunities, to be honest, and I'm excited.
So finally, from you, as we mentioned, we touched on the rumors before, but I want to ask you to give a message to the fans out there so that they understand what is true and what is not true. How do they sift through it? Um, will there be a time and a place for when you will obviously speak out and say everything that happened with regards to your history, and just so they know that they shouldn't listen to certain rumors and how to filter that out, etc.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's been a lot that's been said out there, to the public, to the world, and there's a lot of speculations, and most of it, to be honest, it's not true. Um, my version, probably at some point it will come out. But one thing about me is that in every organization I've worked in, all right, in every team, I've come in, and when it was time for me to move on, it was time for me to let go. Whether that project worked or not, but it was time for me to go. I would give the feedback to the organizations, and I'll give my reasons, and things will be dealt obviously internally. And that's exactly what I did now is, Cricket South Africa asked me to sort of have an exit interview like in any other organization, and I gave my input and how I see things, and how do we actually move forward. It's not everything is negative. That's the thing. People tend to think, well, everything is negative, but no. I mean, there's some negative, there's some positive. So, but the most important thing is, if you're an organization, you gotta work it out and say, okay, as an organization, where are we going? What is our strategy? What is our vision? And this kind of feedback that we receive, how do we, is it useful or not? Because not everything that's been said or I said, it might be useful. Some of it might get chucked out, and some of it might, hey, wait, let's look in more into this. Maybe it will help our system to get better. And yeah, I mean, it was, to be honest, I mean, it was very disappointing to see all those speculations and rumors and all kinds of things. And I just think to myself, okay, you know what, I'm going to be very professional in terms of how I go about things. I'm going to be matured and step back and not get involved. Because to be honest, once you disengage yourself from an organization, that's it. You move on to your own, your next chapter in your life, and see what awaits you. But a lot of rumors I haven't come out and said, because I respect the feedback that I gave to the organization, and I respect the organization to deal with whatever the feedback I gave them their own way. And I don't necessarily have to, like I said, I've given so much feedback in the past. I've worked in different teams. They've asked me for feedback. I gave it to them. I moved on. we touch base again maybe in the future if that organization wants me back in our system. It happened at Carlton Cricket, where I left for a couple of years and I came back. Relationship was good, it's still good. So it happened in other organizations as well. So maybe in the future, I might be in a position where I get back into Cricket South Africa or locally at franchise. But in terms of the rumors, yeah, like I said, most of it was not true. And it was just very, very sad. Something I'd really encourage is that if possible, obviously in the media space, if facts can be sort of shared a lot more, that would be great. But we all know what sort of world we live in. People always want to sort of find out, is it really true or not? And I do appreciate and I'm really thankful to all the journalists, the media that, when they try to contact me to give my vision, and when I ask them just to give me, a bit of privacy, and they actually respected that, and they gave me time to actually, work on myself, and they gave me a lot of privacy. I'm really thankful for that, and I'm sure that moving forward, if there's something that I would like to sort of announce or a statement, I'll be happy to whether organize a media conference to release something, to share it with the world. I'll be happy to do that. But for now, it's important that I keep focusing on myself, on what I need to do, how am I going to take my next step, like I've shared with you. So yeah, I know I've said a lot, but it's important that people's spaces are well respected, and people, doesn't matter what level you're at, they're allowed to also go into their own spaces and move on in their own way. And whenever they're ready to come out, they can come out. And I just hope, for the sake of the game, what's currently happening, that we can all sort of find the better way forward, and we can find solutions, and we can make sure that we protect the game, and we find the best way, to ensure that the game regain its positive image, and we can all grow and love the game like we used to. I'm just being honest in terms of where the game is at currently, and I'm sure in the next couple of months or in a year's time, we all would have forgotten about what has happened in the last couple of months, and we're all going to be loving the game. We're going to be seeing. I'm very positive about our system going forward in the future. I really believe that we have a lot of good people, and people that are really passionate about helping the system to become better. In a year or two, I have no doubt that our system, it would have grown to such a degree that what has actually happened, what our game, our cricket in South Africa has gone through, a lot of people would have actually forgotten about it, because because of the work that's actually been put in. And sometimes, it happens. It happens in anything else in business. There's a bit of a dip. Some businesses, some organizations, that dip lasts longer than, takes a couple of years to actually come out with a dip. Some it's a year, some it's a couple of months. So I just want the game in South Africa to come out of that dip as soon as possible, so that we can actually see a lot more positivity. We can speak a lot of positive. There can be better energy. There can be a lot more synergy, and we can actually help our system to become the best in the world. There's no doubt. I don't see any reason why our system can't get to the top of the world, can't be the best in the world. I just don't see any reasons why. But a lot of things obviously needs to be sorted, and then we can all, system head in the right direction, and then become, and hopefully reach greatness one day.
Enoch, thanks a lot for sharing your story with me. I'm sure in the future, when you do feel like sharing more, you will chat to me again, and we will catch the people up with what's going down and the facts and everything that's going down in the future. But I'm very excited for your new venture. I'm happy to see that you're in a great space. You're looking well. You're looking healthy, and that's very very good. And I'm sure the fan base as well will be happy to see that too. So thanks a lot for joining us on the show. To the guys out there, thank you for watching. I know this is not the usual live show, but we wanted to bring you exclusive with Enoch to just clear up the air. We will be continuing with all our CSA T20 challenge things tomorrow again. Once again, as per usual, we'll try to get players on the channel, etc. Enoch, can I get your word on the T20 gaming? Because obviously you've been successful in the T20 game in South Africa, obviously with the MSL, etc. Now the T20 challenge is on. Can you maybe just talk about some of the things that have excited you in the domestic scene, South African cricket, just for the fans to know? Some of the guys that you've looked out at and said, "Oh wow, that was interesting."
Yeah, look, like I said, it's actually it catch me at the right time, I guess. I've actually just started watching some T20 cricket. I've missed one or two games, but I've been watching quite a bit. And yeah, I mean, look, without obviously, the Proteas and so-called sort of the international that you would have in your sort of MSL, your franchise leagues around the world. And I looked at all the teams and I'm like, wow, these are actually good teams, well balanced. And one thing I actually picked up was that, I know it's only T20 cricket, but the serious talent in South Africa. I mean, you talk about, South African 19s, there's another generation that's going to be coming through into South African 19, and then this under 19 team will be, progressing into the next level. And some of them already back from the Caribbean, they're involved in these teams. Oh, man, it's so exciting. And I know at times people talk about, or maybe they worry about the depth of South African cricket in terms of talent. Our schools have been brilliant for many years, and I really believe that they will continue to produce the quality that we need in our game to move forward and be the best in the world. There's no doubt about it, and you can see it now. And in PE, I know the conditions are different, and and it's a good thing that this T20 is not staged in the same sort of region all the time. It gets moved around the country, and it tests the players from all front, from fielding, from bowling, from batting, different situations. How do you play different situations in different conditions? So it's been very very exciting, and obviously, I mean, some of the Protea guys are also involved that are not in New Zealand, and that's good to see. So I know that fans, some of the fans will be like, yeah, we would like to see some big scores and that. I mean, the guys haven't been playing a lot of T20 cricket. They've been, there's been 4-day cricket. So I think as we go deeper into the week, the games are going to become even more exciting. I mean, it's already exciting. There's some close game. I think I was watching the Titans today against the Rocks, and it was a tight game. At one point, you just didn't know who was going to win, and the game was basically evenly balanced. And obviously, I mean, the Titans pulled it off right to the end. So Northwest beating the Lions yesterday. So yeah, I know it's only the early stages. Once we go deep into the tournament, I think we're gonna see some more exciting cricket, and to see different players stepping up at different times. I'm always sort of looking out for the unknown, the unique players. Who are they? What are they about? I know a lot of people have been speaking about Stubbs, and it's and then you watch him back to the innings he played the other day, and it's like that's an exciting thing to see. I know the levels are different, but if an individual can be able to put himself in that situation and literally take the game away, that's what we want to see more. Kamani today with that last over, There's been many instances, even in the T20 provincial, right at the start of the season. We saw some exciting innings that were played by the batters, some match-turning moments from a fielding point of view, from a batting point of view. And I really believe that the more, obviously, the deeper we go into the tournament, the cricket can only get better, and some of the big names will also step up. But also, like I said, I'd like to see obviously something different, someone that the public doesn't know, putting up their hand in different situations, whether with a bat or ball, just putting up their hand and playing a match inning, a match-winning innings, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be paying close, I'm gonna be watching almost every single game. I'll try my utmost best, depending obviously on my daily schedules. But I want to actually watch almost every single game and see what's out there, because I know, having been in a system for a long time, some of the faces I'm not surprised, and I'm not surprised to see them perform. But I want to see obviously the new generation and how do they deal with pressure, which is something that it's been there for us as a system. And how do we play under pressure? How do we perform even better? How do we, what is our default sort of mode when we're under pressure? What do we fall back into? So those are questions to sort of ask yourself when you're watching this type of games. And there is no, not to say that there's no better format, but I think in T20, just the way you think, the way you go about your business gets exposed a lot quicker. And and to be honest, I'd like to see a score close to 200, even a 200. I know a lot of people sort of like to restrict teams to certain scores and say, but under these conditions, this cannot be done. I don't believe in that. I really believe that teams can really stretch themselves further and further. And I'd like to see a score of 200, even in a 180 or 190, and see how the other team responds. And obviously, the more we see of that, the better. Sometimes we'll also like to see teams defending 120 and see how they go about it. So, those are things that I'm actually looking for, and then see how we continue to move forward. How do we become better in our T20 format, in our system? But there's no doubt, in terms of talent, man, there's it's immense. It's and we'll never be short of talent. That is one thing for sure. We'll never be short of talent. In terms of that space, that will keep growing, and it's a work of everyone in the system that's involved to make sure that that talent is well nurtured. There's clear direction, and there's good growth when it comes to that talent. And ultimately to help the Proteas be the best team in the world, which the entire system benefits. So yeah, I'll probably give you even better feedback. Let me see, closer to the finals. I might be able to give you much more feedback, because then I would have had the opportunity to almost watch every single team in every situation and how they've responded. But there's no doubt that such conditions also, if you're looking at the bigger picture, World Cup next year in India, this can actually help. This can, we can start standing more. How do batters go about it? How do even bowlers, the spin bowlers, or even your seamers, how do they actually, on wickets like this, slow, how do they bowl? Because if any of the guys get picked, doesn't matter. Yes, you're playing T20 cricket. If any of the guys get picked, for the World Cup in India next year, you got to do the job. I know it's 50 overs, but you got to do the job. And, the selectors, everybody will want, obviously, the best players to be out there to win the World Cup for South Africa. And these are opportunities when you're playing in the coast, like in places like PE, and there's opportunities to turn the ball even more, to make it difficult for the batters to, how do they counter that. So that's, yeah, let's see. Obviously, once we go more deep into the tournament, let's see how it plays out.
Definitely, we'll be catching up with you after the tournament as well to get your views. Thank you a lot for coming on the show. We'll chat to you very, very soon. To all of the guys out there, please smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell for future videos, but also subscribe to Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Enoch, thanks a lot for catching us up and letting us know what's going on in your life. We'll catch up very, very soon and with another session with all of you guys. And we'll see you again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care.